Welcome everybody to the first semi-final of the GG League Season number 2. It is going to be Vega Squadron versus AlbumSheet in this best of 3 series. Skill-wise, probably rather even between both sides. Both teams have been looking rather good in the just recent past as well, so should be excellent CIS Dota for us to watch. We are of course HeflaTV, your English coverage for this event. I am Coucher and, at least for a short while, I will be joined by Mike Loris. Man, how you doing?
Could be better. Had to wake up early for a game that didn't start, and then, well, now I'm here, and hopefully the game will be fast so that I don't have to cut out halfway, but who knows what's going to happen. The game could last long, in which case you're going to be all alone.
Yeah, I mean, today's schedule all in all is pretty damn hectic. I'm just hoping we can get all the games covered that we need to, but looking at the draft, Vega Squad, I'm going for the Elder Titan. Definitely a strong enough hero and elbow sheet. Check Hero, Ogre, Magi. Just no hesitation from either side, really.
I'm looking at AlbumSheet's lineup right now. Bignum, Undershot, Ink Visitor, Afterlife, Chomi. They've been running with a couple of different players, I think. Ink Visitor hasn't been playing for AlbumSheet for quite a long time. Undershock is like a in and out stand-in, so AlbumSheet definitely doing some shuffling, I believe.
Yeah, it might be a little bit sad to miss because Album Sheet, they've been a solid team for quite some time now already. Of course, maybe every now and then you need some fresh blood in, or maybe somebody's just unavailable, sick. It is winter time, slowly but surely. After all, I'm not too sure about how it is for you, but if you're living in any Russian country, man, you're gonna have winter.
Yeah, for most of the year, probably.
Well, looking at the next set of bans though, Phoenix banned out by Album Sheet, Lich taken out by Vega Squadron, so maybe they don't want to run against some form of dual lanes. Lich definitely not that popular of a pick, nor a ban otherwise.
Yeah, he's okay whenever you pick him. He's not going to be the best hero in your draft. He's very solid. He does his job well, and that's fine. But usually it's better to have a little bit more focus when you pick up your support heroes. Like if you look at Ogre Magi, if you look at Elder Titan, especially Elder Titan, he's all about that damage, and that he does very well. And that is a fairly unique role among supports to amplify your teammates' damage. Him and Scarith Mage do it pretty darn well, but the Phoenix also, the PA and Lycan being banned out from either side, and well, the Chikiro Ogre Magi opening from Album Sheet, maybe they want to take this game a little bit aggressively. They can certainly go for a lot of pushing down the line, though with Lycan banned out, Death Prophet banned out, it will be not as powerful as it can be.
Yeah, most certainly not. And to be honest, maybe instead of Lich, I would have preferred something like Eventual Spirit to get banned out. I guess Vegas Squadron, they might be hoping to get it for themselves, maybe, but Album Sheet, pick it up. Just the Ogre Magi Eventual combination is a rather popular and an extremely strong one, of course, at the same time. Just Bloodlust and the Vengeance Aura to boost up your team. It is a sick combination.
And you get stuns for days. You need as many crowd control tools as you could find when you're dealing with a puck. And well, Vega Squadron, they're going to pick up a Dazzle in response to this. The Album should have a lot of damage with their heroes, but Vega Squadron, they have kind of tools to defend against it. Now with the Dazzle, puck with the phase shift, and just being very elusive in general. So far, I think the drafts are looking pretty even, though Vega Squadron really have yet to show their hand. They both have, I would assume, all of their supports now lined up. So these are the supporting cast, and I would say Album Sheet are a little bit more direct in their approach. They're going to be most likely going around and killing things early on, whereas Vega Squadron, they're a little bit more defensive.
Sure looks like it by the draft at the moment. I guess Vega Squadron, they could run like the Elder Titan offlane as well if they wanted to. But the thing is that they just somehow, they got a little bit greedy maybe. Well, not in the sense that it's gonna hurt their lanes or anything, but it's not enough for them to just reduce the base armor back to zero with the natural order. They have to get it into minus as well with the Dazzle. It can work out, of course. Plus armor for yourself against the Vengeance, or the Wave of Terror rather. Ain't all that shabby either, but do we have anything else coming out that actually synergizes well with the Dazzle, or is it just purely defensively for the heals and the Shallow Grave?
Well, usually when you pick up a Dazzle, you want to be protecting someone. Someone like Phantom Assassin would be fantastic for Vega, if not for the fact that it was already banned out. Tidehunter could also add a little bit more minus armor. If they really want to go deep into that strategy, then it could work out pretty decently. Grab like Tidehunter, Templar Assassin, or something like that. You know, heroes along those lines. Razor also a possibility for Vega Squadron. If they want to get extra synergy out of the Dazzle, sometimes it's just really awkwardly Dazzle is going to just be in the draft, and He occasionally saves people with Grave, but occasionally doesn't. Up against a Venomancer, Grave is by no means a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, and there's not only the Venomancer, also the Ignite as well as just Dual Breath and Liquid Fire coming out from Jakiro. So lots of damage over time that they probably won't be able to purge off unless they really get like BKBs or something like that. At the moment, they don't really have the best pipe carrier either. Maybe Elder Titan could go for one somewhere along the line, and Vega Squadron picking up a Slark. So both teams, they at least look to have some fairly just aggressive lineups. Vega Squadron maybe not so much in the laning phase, but once the Slark gets the Blink Dagger, then just try to go for the aggression. Same for the Puck, just gets the Blink. But yeah, I guess both teams kind of stay true to their playstyle, just rather aggressive Dota.
Yeah, and I would be a little bit disappointed if we didn't see that coming out from these two teams. What do you think the possibility is of these teams picking up something like a Turbo Carry, Naga Siren as the last pick? Because it doesn't seem like that's very possible, but I always just like underestimate the possibilities when Naga Siren is on the table.
And if, then maybe Vega Squadron. I think album sheets lanes are more or less set already. Probably something like a Jakiro off lane, Venomancer mid, and Vengeful Ogre +1 save. Although you could go for it, Anti-Mage does get banned out, so Vega Squadron definitely thought it possible for Album Sheet to pick one up. And with Vega Squadron lacking the lockdown for Anti-Mage, I guess it could have been a worthy pick. Something like a Morphling maybe wouldn't be too horrible either, but I mean, I actually struggle to think what else Album Sheet could go for other than an Hyper Carry, just because if they go for like even more the mid-game focused heroes, they might just get backfired upon heavily so once they fail to just push high ground or something. So I actually wouldn't mind like Morphling, maybe a Medusa, I don't know, just so many good ones. The Phantom Assassin and Anti-Mage most likely are already banned out, so I don't really know.
Yeah, Morphling probably not the best versus Elder Titan, but very good against Elder Squad or Vega Squadron in general, just because they are so disable light.
I guess
Heroes
Weaver
with
might be
mobility
one.
are going to be of a slightly higher priority for Album Sheet, but just because Vega Squadron don't have any mid disables, but they could decide to go for a little more of an aggressive pick. Lycan would have been fantastic in their draft. Uh, a Troll Warlord would give them a little bit of late game while at the same time adding to this early game push, and I think that might just be the pick for Album Sheet.
Yeah, I mean, Weaver wouldn't be too horrible either, maybe. Just try to take advantage of the lack of lockdown. Of course, the Puck Silence. I mean, Puck Silence can screw over anybody, I guess, like Morphling Waveform as well and everything. It's, I guess, Album Sheet themselves taking a really long time with the last pick here. I mean, the Lycan, like you mentioned, would have been an excellent pick, but Vega Squadron, they got some pretty nice bans down.
Yeah, they pretty much have a good read on what Album Sheet want. They know their weakness of their draft is being able to defend against this push and being able to lock down enemy heroes. So they got their bases covered, at least as good as they could possibly cover them. For Vega Squadron, their last pick, they have some decent damage in the Slark. Elder Titan, of course, going to amplify everyone's damage. Wraith King, the pick from Album Sheet. I'm always a little bit iffy on core Wraith Kings. They never really seem to work out, but maybe you'll get through to Vega Squadron. Who knows? You have to kill off this Elder Titan if you want your Wraith King to have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I think all in all, just almost in any single Elder Titan game, he should be one of the heroes to just prioritize in the fights. This time around, of course, there's a Dazzle as well who can keep everybody alive. And apart from the Wraith King, they don't have like the best heroes to actually initiate. I mean, Wraith King most likely will go for the Blink Dagger. If he doesn't, they're just gonna have zero initiation. I guess Vengeful Spirit could go and swap herself in, but that's usually not how you want to initiate fights. Maybe you can go for a small skirmish, a pick off with that, but into a 5-on-5 fight, you rarely want to just initiate with the swap.
Yeah, unless you have a level 3 swap and you're pushing high ground or something, then it gets a little bit better, but that's a long ways away. Clockwork is actually the pick from Vega Squadron, not the hero that I would have listed off. It's going to give them a little bit of an initiation edge over Album Sheet, but whenever you see a Clockwork, you have to ask the question, should Batrider be better? I think this game, Batrider up against Venge means Clockwork is justifiable, though Clockwork is not working with too much synergy. Like, he's not setting up for a Mystic Flare or anything like that.
I guess the best part is kind of like you can power cog so that the Wraith King maybe cannot get as much uptime with the right clicks and just can't stay on target, but Clockwork definitely is usually a rather risky hero because, for example, if you don't get off to a good start, you're not going to get the tank ability that you need. Otherwise, you're going to just hookshot in, have zero items to actually tank things up and die immediately almost. So it's going to be somewhat hard for the Clockwork, especially if he should be facing a tri-lane. Or is there a chance that AlbumSheet are running some form of aggressive tri lane with this?
It is certainly a possibility. Putting Jakiro down towards the bottom lane, Wraith King, Ogre Magi, Vengeful Spirit, that's 3 stuns. And really, when you're going to be running an aggressive tri lane, you want all the stuns you could get. The damage is pretty high, the tankiness is decent. So it's possible that they want to do that, but whoever they go for, they have to be careful of the Dazzle, because most likely for Vega, it's just going to be a defensive tri lane for them. If not dual lanes, there's a possibility for that, but I don't know. For AlbumSheet, their laning is, I would say, slightly stronger than that of Vega, just because they have so much kill potential, but we'll see where they actually want to go. It looks like it is going to be an offensive tri lane for AlbumSheet.
And at the moment, Stallianer hasn't picked up any items, and no one most likely will head towards the mid lane. For a second, I was like, what? Is the puck really going top lane? But as always, no one will be playing the mid lane for Vega Squadron. Up on the puck this time around, with Arseek on the Elder Titan, Seema the Slayer playing the Dazzle, with Stallianer being the safe lane Slark, and the last one will be CA on the offlane Clockwork.
And on AlbumSheet, Bignum is going to be on the Ogre Magi. Inkvisitor is going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit, with Undershock joining as the Wraith King. They might be running into Arseek, and they have a lot of stuns here. Fire Blast is going to land. Boots helping out with that. Magic Missile also going to land. Can Wraith Fire Blast land as well? And they will. Now the beatdown is going to commence. Arseek is completely surrounded. He's going to try to stomp with the Grave there. He might get a little bit of distance, but they have another Fire Blast cooling down. This is going to get the kill. Magic Missile layered a little bit, but one more hit, and that's going to be first blood drawn by AlbumSheet. They use a hell of a lot of mana. They use all their stuns, some twice, but hey, they get the kill in the end. That's totally worth it. Other heroes on AlbumSheet. We have Chomi on the Venomancer mid, and Afterlife as the Jakiro bot.
So, really great start for an aggressive tri lane. Like I said, had to use a lot of mana, but they have some clarities for themselves. Maybe Bignum this game around might even rush the Arcane Boots, especially since he did get the first blood. Usually it's like Tranquil Boots and Soul Ring for the Ogres, but especially if you're in a tri lane that does have so much lockdown, does have the ability to actually use your mana when you have it. Arcane Boots might be nice for the Ogre this game, if you can get them early enough, but never mind, picks up an Orb of Venom, so no Arcane Boots rush at least.
Okay. Orb of Venom is also still pretty good if you're going to be playing very aggressively. Having that small amount of slow may or may not be relevant. We saw the Elder Titan was just out of range was just on the edge of the range the entire time. With one smack of the mace, he will pretty much always be in range for any sort of follow-up play. And, well, it's going to be resuming that aggression up on top lane. Stallianer is going to level up Pounce. He will use said skill to dodge a Wraith Fire Blast, and he's going to be fine for now. But, man, these two support heroes just will not quit on this top lane. And it's something that Vega Squadron are going to have to worry about the entire time. And if they had really good other lanes, then they'd be kind of okay with this. But their lanes aren't even that strong. Like, Clockwork versus Jakiro is very favored for the Jakiro. Bignum, just by himself, is zoning out Stallianer and Seema, and that should not be happening.
No, it most certainly should not. Of course, now they are rather low on mana, especially Undershock. They don't have any clarities left either. I'm hoping that since they didn't rush the Arcane Boots, at least get like a Ring of Bazzi for this tri lane. Otherwise, when they are out of mana, yes, Vega might not get the most amount of farm. At least they can still get XP when there aren't just any stuns coming out.
Yeah, they need to have their mana pools pretty much at full or near full the entire time if they're actually going to get any more kills, or at least threaten the Vega Squadron side, because with no Wraith Fire Blast, I think that in of itself means that Vega Squadron are pretty much safe. As nice as Ogre Magi and Vengeful stuns are, they need that third one if they're actually going to get kills on the likes of Stallianer, especially if they get surrounded right now. Inkvisitor going to get pounced upon. He has a Magic Missile, it may throw towards Seema, and he will do so as Fire Blast goes towards Stallianer. Stomp level 1 is going to land onto Bignum, not do too much, but here comes Undershock. He does not have any mana, so he actually can't do anything here. Do they have another Fire Blast? Magic Missile is there. Can he throw it out? Inkvisitor trying to get close enough, but he's not going to go for it. Orb of Venom keeping Seema in range, dropping him very, very low. Still Inkvisitor is holding onto his Magic Missile. It's going to be Arseek to launch a stomp one more time. They're going to throw the stun onto Arseek, and now the Magic Missile, or the Wraith Fire Blast is going to be flown onto the Elder Titan, and one more hit is going to get that kill. Stallianer pouncing after Inkvisitor will miss. Then 3 HP, Inkvisitor still alive. Now salving up, he's going to be just fine. Fire Blast, mana is there from Bignum, but he will not throw it. Man, that is kind of unlucky, honestly, by Stallianer. A little bit unlucky on the high-low roll, and Inkvisitor lives with 3 HP.
Just imagine them having actually a little bit more mana to work with there on the AlbumSheet side. They could have gotten so much more out of this. Still, a kill is nice for them. Magic Stick on Undershock gave him the mana required for that one single Wraith Fire Blast that got the kill there as well. Bignum finds a haste rune now. Oh god, with the haste rune they might even go for Arseek if they only had a stun on any of their other heroes.
It's a little bit unfortunate right now. They really need some mana, and Arcane Boot check, I would say none of these heroes, they're near it, but hell, even if Undershock had like 1500 gold right now, yes, you should get arcane boots on the Wraith King right now. It's not the most standard of items for sure, but you desperately need mana on this lane. They're doing a decent job at keeping the Slark away from the lane, only 3 CS on Stallianer, so in that regard they're doing fine, but now they're pretty much out of gas. They have their magic sticks, they have 2 stick charges on Wraith King, there's nothing on the Vengeful Spirit, there's nothing on Bignum that's significant, so if they don't have mana, then this lane is eventually just going to run slow, and then once that happens, I mean, the lane is going to fail.
Yeah, I really, would have liked to see still the arcane boost. I guess Orb of Venom is definitely a good item pickup. Maybe Vengeful will be the one to go for the Ring of Passy. At the moment, though, just buying up wards, upgrading Courier or whatnot. And he's TPing mid lane now. They want to go for the kill on no one, potentially Chomi. He has been, well, not dominating the lane, but pulling slightly ahead in the last hits, 18 to 9 compared to 16 and 8. Bottom lane though, Jakiro Afterlife 21 and 1 compared to a 15 and 1 Clockwork. But the thing is with Jakiro that if he gets caught with the Battery Assault and Cogs, you're pretty much done for yourself just because you can't cast a single spell while under the effects of the Battery Assault. But if you can just keep the distance, spam the Liquid Fire, just free harass, it's so hard to go against that.
Yeah, and the tower is going to be pushed. It's already very, very low because of Liquid Fire spam from Afterlife. There's not much that Clockwork can do in order to pay Afterlife back. Maybe once he gets level 6, a hook shot into a level 3 Battery Assault can get a kill on Jakiro. But by the time that happens, the tower is already going to be down. So bottom lane, not doing the worst for Vega. At least Clockwork's getting some decent levels. He's getting some more farm than I really thought, but still Afterlife is holding onto this lane very tightly, and that's to be expected. Over towards mid, 23 for 9 on the Veno versus the 21 for 9 on the Puck. Pretty much as even of a lane as you can possibly find. I would say Puck might be sometimes ahead in this lane, but now that the Plague Wards are level 3 and Poison Sting is also level 3, no one can't really get close any longer without taking some serious damage. Tower is going to be denied up towards top, and over towards mid, the tower is slowly going to take some damage.
Well, top lane, they have the mana now on Bignum, but Stallianer, not the priority target to go for since he has the Dark Pact and the Pounce as well to maybe escape. I guess Dazzle is the best target to go for if you can, but he's staying far enough back, Arseek as well, with the Echo Storms to just defend his teammates. But everybody has a fairly high mana pool at this point on AlbumSheet, so if anybody's even slightly out of position for Vega, they're gonna get punished.
And even if they're just not out of position, they're not going to be on the front line. They're not going to be getting last hits. So Undershock going to start pulling ahead in the CS. Hasn't really been getting that much, but over towards mid, Chomi is going to take a coil to the face. He will dodge the stomp, putting some serious poison damage into the Puck. Poison Sting doing its work right there. Now has a chance to bottle up. He will use one, but now he's completely out. Poison Sting might slow Arseek enough. 350 movement speed versus 335. You cannot outrun the Titan, and he will beat the Venomancer down, getting that kill. Veno, unfortunately, just not a fast hero in general because of the fact that he has Gale. But yeah, the Elder Titan just fast enough, and it will be a kill on the Venomancer.
Yeah, really nicely done. Bottom lane though, Afterlife might find Clockwork here. Ice Path will connect, and Liquid Fire, he needs only one more, and that's gonna be the kill as well. So it's gonna be a trade. Not too bad at all. Puck, of course, himself has to back off all the way home as well. So Venomancer already back in the mid lane, gonna continue with his Plague Wards. So still, it's nice for Vega that they got the kill, but it doesn't slow the Venomancer down by too much.
Yeah, Venomancer is not a hero that really needs that much. If you're going to be laning him in the mid lane, you want to get eventually something along the lines of Aghanim Scepter, Blink Dagger, that type of build. Maybe get a Veil Discord, but you'll be able to find that eventually because they have so much pushing power. He doesn't have to be constantly farming the lane. He's usually played as support, or is sometimes played as support, so that just goes to show how capable he is. Undershock up towards top lane is going to take quite a bit of damage from Stallion. Here comes CA to help out as well. Stallion needs another pounce or something to kill off Undershock. Magic Missile is going to hold him out. CA looking for John, he's going to jump onto Ink Visitor with the Spirit there. The Adventure Spirit is going to go down. Bignum and Undershock can do nothing but retreat. It's a nice rotation for the Clockwork, I suppose, but this is going to be costing them the bottom tier 2. Jakiro is relentless, and someone has to be there to stop him.
And the push is just so fast with that level 4 Liquid Fire, although CA might find Bignum as well. If he gets the power cogs correctly, Plague Wards come out to help out a little bit, and it's going to be enough of a slow, and the turnaround is there. Minus armor is there, Fire Blast used as well, but no one, he comes in, cleans up the Ogre Magi. Chomi can't do really anything at all without his Poison Nova or the Venomous Gale. Inquisitor gonna get Dream Coiled up as well. CA might still go down to Poison Sting and the Plague Wards. Still though, a 2-for-1 trade, and Vega coming out slightly ahead.
Yeah, they're going to be happy with the kill score until they realize that bottom lane, the tier 3 is now under pressure from Afterlife, and Seema the Slayer is not enough to defend this. This tier 3 tower might actually be going down, and that will be one of the fastest tier 3 tower destructions I've ever seen, especially in this patch when teams just don't go for the whole Pugna Death Prophet kind of wall up and push things kind of strategy. They're going to have to fortify in order to defend the mid lane, and maybe mid lane is going to fall first so that they get a refresh fortify for the bottom lane, but someone has to deal with this Jakiro, and Afterlife doesn't even have to stick around. He's already done his job and then some. He's pushed down 2 towers, which for a solo lane Jakiro is about 1 more tower than you would really expect. He could go to any other lane right now and then push those towers as well, just adding more and more gold to AlbumSheet, getting more map control, and because they have a Jakiro and a Venomancer, they could just keep on going for all the towers, and Vega, they're going to have to start some fights. They've been fighting decently so far, but against the upcoming gold advantage from AlbumSheet, it's going to be harder and harder for them to take these fights.
Most certainly, especially when Afterlife gets himself a Yule Scepter as well, so can set up the ice paths perfectly. They see Stalianer, who is level 6 at least, so will have the Shadow Dance to escape if need be. But the 8-minute just harass onto the tier 3, even with just massive pushing lineups, usually it's not that fast. And Shakiro probably the only one who could do it solo as well, just because it doesn't really need any mana for the harass. I still think Liquid Fire should get like some form of a mana cost. Maybe not huge, but like 10 mana at least. And I don't know, it's just so sick.
Yeah, like give it a mana cost or increase the cooldown or something like that. Right now it's one of the most broken skills in Dota in my opinion, and well, they're going to abuse that skill and take down the top tier 1 tower. TP from the puck is going to go through. 4 heroes spotted now on Vega's top lane, but they also lose a mid lane tower as well. That's now 4 towers in favor of AlbumSheet before the 10-minute mark. And it's not like they have a Chen or Enchantress either. With those heroes that would be kind of, well, it won't be surprising, like a Chen Enchantress Juggernaut combination, they've been known to take towers very quickly, but not with this. This is AlbumSheet going very, very aggressively into the towers, and well, the Wraith King, I still think could have been better as a Troll Warlord. Maybe wouldn't have performed as well in lane, but certainly as far as breaching the high ground, that additional Battle Trance could actually, if they had it, win AlbumSheet the game in a pre-20 minute time.
Well, unfortunately for themselves, they do not have it. But they still have quite a lot to work with. I mean, just, if you look at the graphs, it is almost a 5k net worth, but it's purely almost just the buildings going down. XP slightly in their favor as well by about 500. Seema the Slayer and CA, they are hanging around. Does Clockwork really want to go into this with no one? Maybe so. The Dream Call onto Afterlife is going to be a huge kill if they can get it. Yule Scepter buy some time. They pop the Poison Nova, only catching the Clockwork though. Shadow Wave, easy kill. Echo Stomp to follow onto Chomi as well, who went for the Hand of Midas. Going to get slowed down by the Poison Touch. Inquisitor, is he going to be able to help too much? And he's going to have to back off himself. No one. What? He actually chaunted to the orb as well now. Into 3 heroes. That was a huge mistake.
Not a good idea, especially with Undershock now coming in, throwing his blast onto our Zeke. He has a stomp. Maybe he'll get it off. Nope, not in time. They're going to kill off the Elder Titan. Now they're going to kill off Seema in a hurry. He has a TP Grave, maybe, but there's a lot of mana here. It's a Fire Blast they're holding. Inquisitor is going to be the one to collect the double kill. They kill off the Jakiro, but it's not really enough because Jakiro is going to straight TP over towards the mid lane. And look at that. Now your tier 2 tower is in a lot of trouble. AlbumSheet turned that one around pretty decently, and they could get follow-up after it. Even if Vega backed off and they didn't lose those follow-up heroes in the Elder Titan, Dazzle, Puck, they wouldn't have been able to get any objectives after that. So that's really the difference in draft.
Well, it's also Jakiro just having that good of an early time as well. Got the levels, has the Yule Scepter as well. I mean, although he died, at least the Yule Scepter bought some valuable seconds for AlbumSheet, for example, the Vengeful to be able to run in like that as well. I still think the biggest mistake was the Puck actually chaunting into 3 heroes like that. But at least they get the tier 1 themselves on the top lane in the meantime. Stalianer doesn't get the last hit, but tower is down, and does he really want to go on Undershock? I mean, the Raping is rather low on health, but has 11 just 6 charges now as well.
And he's more than happy to take this fight, Undershock. Man, fight me. And Stalianer is actually taking a lot more damage than I thought. Drums plus power treads, and Stalianer, he has no poor man shields, no real items either. Power treads, Aquila is fine for 12 minutes in the game, so he's pretty much where a Slark is okay with being. But he just needs more because everyone from AlbumSheet is just so damn stacked. It's tier 2 tower still surviving over in mid, and up towards top it's still alive as well, but this is probably not going to be the case for much longer. This Clockwork has been doing his job, but he needs to be doing like his job and then some, just because it's not enough. It's just not enough.
I mean, at the moment, if you're Vega, what what's your plan even? Do you wait for Slark to get a Blink Dagger, for example? Do you really try to turtle and hope for the puck to get his own Blink Dagger as well? It's not like it's that far, about 400 gold away. I mean, are there some crucial items you wait for and then start to just go a little bit more aggressive yourself? Because if they really stay just passive, they're going to lose all of their buildings, give away a lot of map control, lots of global gold to AlbumSheet, which may result in AlbumSheet's ability to just break high ground.
They're going to have to defend their towers in that they don't really have a choice on what to do. It's a matter of what AlbumSheet want to do. As far as going back aggressive on Vega, they should be looking for the Jakiro and the Venomancer 100% of their time. If they see Afterlife alone, or if they see Chomi just wandering around, a blink or a hook shot in with a battery assault can kill off these heroes and then slow down the push from AlbumSheet. And that should be, on paper, the best thing for Vega to do, but actually doing it is a different story entirely.
Yeah, and Afterlife looks to be going for a mech now as well on the Shakiro to make it even harder for Vega to actually get the kills, plus of course sustain your push. Did start with the buckler for the bonus armor effect. They do keep on going. Chomi of course hasn't gotten too much after the Hand of Midas, just power threads finished up now. But I guess next is gonna be straight of Aghanim's for Venomancer.
Yeah, something like that probably. It might be a Blink Dagger, it might be some other aura item, but...
Necrobook maybe?
A what?
A Necrobook? Is it viable?
Yeah, that would be actually freaking amazing for AlbumSheet. If they're really looking to end the game right now, grabbing a Necrobook on any of their heroes would be sweet.
Well, Echo Stomp does try to delay things out and rather successful with the Rocket Flare also coming in. They do have a reasonable amount of counter push, but of course Liquid Fire will still go through everything. You just need to get rid of the back tower protection for a little while, and that's going to be tier 2 down. Only one tower is still up out of the outer towers that is. 13.5 minutes in. That's just some crazy control from AlbumSheet.
And they're not done yet. They still have one more tier 2 tower to take. And Vega, as you said, decent clearing with the Spirit, with the Puck Orb as well, but you can only do that for so long versus the sustained non-unit based pushing of AlbumSheet. They got the Plague Wards, they got the Liquid Fire, and now they're going to split up a little bit, get a little bit more farm onto Undershock. He's going for a Chainmail item, so it is not going to be a straight up Blink Dagger for him. Bignum is also in the area, wielding a point booster. These heroes on AlbumSheet are getting pretty darn big pretty darn quickly. This is probably Vega's best chance to make a play right now because they see that there's one hero down on bottom, which means best case scenario for you top lane, it's a 5v4, and they could probably take that fight, but they're not actively going for that right now. Stallioner is actually nowhere nearby. He's farming for his blink. It's worthwhile for sure, but I think getting these kills is probably a little bit more preferable.
Well, it's definitely something that Vega maybe should have done. They saw the Brave King and also Bignum appeared on the Ogre Mansion in the bottom lane, so it could have been the best possible fight for them, like you mentioned. Still didn't go for it, maybe a little bit too afraid. Chomi in the meantime, gonna stack up Ancients. Gonna be a triple stack now with Brave King having 2 points into Vampiric Blood, now 1 point into, or Vampiric Aura rather, and 1 point into the Mortal Strike. Can maybe even try to farm it up with the help of the Plague Wards, for example. But mech, man, Jakiro is so damn close to it. Has the mech recipe already. Just needs the hit rest to be finished, and that might just be the item that they're like, okay guys, we have the items we need. We're gonna go 5-man and Vega can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a tier 2 where Vega can't do anything about it, then probably high ground. CA is going to get caught with the Magic Missile, Dual Breath, and Bignum coming around from the side with a Multicast Ignite. Not really going to help too much, but CA is already dead anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Clockwork down, he already used his hook shot and missed it on the Jakiro, so he didn't have any way of getting out of that. It looks like they're not going to wait just yet for the mech. Actually, no, they're going to fly the courier out to the side shop, pick up the ring, and then grab the mech on the fly. So this tier 2 tower is going to go down. The question is, can Vega defend the high ground? They have a Blink Dagger on Puck and a Blink Dagger available on Slark if they want it. This is probably the best bet for them to take a fight right now, but it's still going to be a very narrow win, if any, because there is a mech advantage on AlbumSheet, and this is a very fast mech as well, after Eul Scepter.
Oh, it most certainly is, and they are going to continue with the push. Blink on Slark, so that might be exactly what they need. He's not even going to stay on the bottom lane, which is getting heavily pressured just by the creeps already. But this tier 2 is just burning down so fast too. Mostly the Liquid Fire. It's not like they have a crazy amount of push apart from that spell.
Yeah, well, it's going to be enough for this tower, and the Elder Titan is taking quite a bit of damage, just keeping the spirits flowing. The Soul Ring bleed is going to put him a little bit down low, but AlbumSheet, they're taking a little bit of damage here and there from the Spirit. Not enough to really make them scared or anything like that. Wraith King has yet to use his reincarnation a single time this game, And if things get really bad, they have an urn, which is still holding 1 soul, and they will also have the mech if things get really bad. No one's looking for initiation, and they might find out to Afterlife right now, or they might just lose their tower.
They're really afraid to just make the jump. They can deny the tower maybe just because AlbumSheet, they don't want to go in too deep. Undershock, he runs in a little bit. Plague Ward is gonna be enough. 1 Plague Ward just gets the tower where Vega had 5 heroes there more or less. That's just something that shouldn't have happened.
And what a heroic Plague Ward. That's I don't want to say that's the power of the Venomancer, because that is probably not going to happen very often, but when you could make any sort of units that do any sort of damage, there is potential for shenanigans, and Vega, unfortunately, just slightly mistiming their deny. Would have certainly helped out in stalling out AlbumSheet, but I don't think AlbumSheet are going to be too bothered by the fact that they did not get that kill. They might be a little bit more bothered if Afterlife dies up towards top. A mech into TP, you're not going to get that kill with just a Slark. It's just not going to happen.
That was so fast as well. Didn't even try to use or anything. It's like, yeah, it's only a Slark, easy TP. Mid lane though, Bigna might be in some trouble. Rocket Flare comes in, no one. He's gonna jump in. Has to use the Dream Coil, never mind. Perfect hookshot, but nice swap from Inquisitor. Dream Coil does come out, but the Poison Nova onto 2 in return. CA gets slowed down, no one. Has to get rid of the Poison Sting somehow, otherwise he's just gonna go down. CA will be able to TP out just barely as no one. Yes, he's dead. So a 1-for-1, but it's a core for support. Clockwork barely escapes, just TPs away home. Even then, almost died in the base. And that's not even an Aghanims ultimate for Venomancer.
It's only going to get scarier. It is a rather quick level 11 from the Venomancer, so it is doing a little bit extra damage as far as that is concerned. Gale's not maxed out, and Gale actually does quite a bit of damage as well, but with all those Plague Wards being set up, the dots from the Poison Sting was intense, and the Aghanim Scepter is actually very close to completion. This is going to be an incredibly fast and dangerous item from the AlbumSheet side. As long as they can get this ultimate out, it is possible that the Venomancer is just going to get blinked, silenced, hookshot, and then can't get his ultimate out, but it's a very fast spell to come out. Odds are he's going to get it out, and odds are if it hits on 2 heroes-ish on Vega, they're just going to die.
It's extremely difficult, and if AlbumSheet actually have all 5 of their heroes there as well, there is almost little to no chance that you're actually going to be able to TP out like Clockwork did this time around. Just because every hero apart from Venomancer can disable a TP. Some heroes even with 2 things, so it's... How the hell are you just supposed to team fight or TP out in an actual like 5-on-5 team fight?
Press the button, close your eyes, cross your fingers, I guess. It doesn't seem like a good strategy. I wouldn't recommend that if it's maybe as a fallback, but probably not as the first choice. AlbumSheet, they've taken all the tier 2 towers. Killing off Roshan is possible for them. However, it will be probably a more risky way to go. They just can't afford to lose Afterlife right now. I mean, they can afford to lose him, but they really don't want to. Just because they have the Aghanim Scepter now up on the Venomancer. They have almost a 4-staff on Jakiro. These are items that will let AlbumSheet push the high ground. Maybe once they get the Blink Dagger and Wraith King. They're going to lose Inquisitor though. He's going to get coiled. Bignum's also taking quite a bit of damage. Will turn and fight for as much as he can, but he has no real way out of this. Too many heroes around, and Bignum trying to juke through the trees, and he's going to go to the high ground, but maybe he's going to get a little bit more space. There's no way out of there. 2 supports down. Vega, they're going to be happy with that. However, they are going to have to deal with 3 more dangerous heroes, and maybe not. No, Aftershock, they're not willing to engage on this. 3v5 might be a little bit too much for them, even though they are far ahead.
Yeah, and actually at this point, I would have expected Aftershock to maybe accomplish a little bit more. After they got the last tier 2 tower down on the top lane, they've gone rather passive, and I'm not too sure if it actually like helps them to be this passive, just because there's no Blink Dagger on Wraith King. I guess maybe that's one of the reasons that they are passive. They just don't have the jump still. We were talking about it in the draft. I was totally expecting Wraith King to pick up the Blink Dagger, just because without that, how did they initiate? I guess Jakiro, when he gets his 4-staff, maybe like 4-staff Yules into Ice Path, something like that. But it's not the greatest way to just initiate. Usually you would want to have the 4-staff to maybe escape or just have a positional advantage. But they are at least taking Roshan, so taking some initiative here.
They have maxed out wave. Inquisitors eventually going to drop the armor of Roshan once he's done with all this warding action. So there it is, between that Liquid Fire and the Vamp. They're going to actually bait the Roshan. They're going to know about this though. The Clockwork scouted out, perfectly timed, but it might not matter for RZ because Fire Blast actually not going to be cast. Now it is going to be cast, and now RZ is completely screwed. He's going to be going down. That was a very sneaky move from AlbumSheet. That was, bro, swap back onto the puck. might not be done yet. No one is going to have time to blink out with an invis rune as well. Is going to be fine. But that type of move, you don't start fighting Roshan, then randomly smoke out and then look for a kill. That was, I'm pretty sure no one would expect that.
Yeah, it was really sneaky. I mean, I guess I've seen such moves like maybe a couple of times in the past, but definitely not too often. Really well done. They got the one kill, but that's all they need, really. Astral Spirit is such a great scouting tool. Natural Order is so annoying to go up against no one, though. Still around with the Dream Coil. May want to jump in. In the meantime, Undershock, his Blink Dagger is flying out on the Wraith King, so as he picks up the Aegis, if he's even the one to pick it up, he can immediately blink and try to go on somebody.
It's going to be Ogre to grab the Aegis. Was this actually part of the plan, or were they scared about a steal? It doesn't seem like it was the plan to give Ogre Aegis, because it's kind of a mediocre hero. He's probably like one of the tankier heroes on the team as well. It's better than Wraith King, I suppose, but I think Jakiro with Aegis is probably a little bit better for AlbumSheet. Regardless, they have the Roshan now. They have Blink Dagger on the Wraith King. This is the time to go. The only item they could possibly want to wait for is Aghanims on Bigdom. I don't know if that's entirely worth it. They should probably just go to the bottom lane and see what they can get. Or mid lane. That's more pushed out.
Well, it's like any lane they want to go on. They should be going for something at this point. Especially since the Wraith King, he actually hasn't used his reincarnation a single time in this game, I think. Or hasn't had the need to use it. It's not like you want to die anyway. Especially if the reincarnation isn't level 3 yet. Level 2, although a lot shorter than level 1 ultimate, it's still 160 seconds.
Yeah, it's still quite a long time, and well, unfortunately we have a pause, and unfortunately it's getting to about that time soon enough where I'm gonna have to leave you, because unfortunately I can't make a lobby and still be in this game on a side. If we were in the ticket I could, but we're not.
Well, shit happens, man. Shit happens. And of course, pauses happen. That's mostly what happens.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, it's pause time. Guess it's time for me to leave. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure that that's up, because BOCE, they typically don't like waiting for that long for their lobby. So I'm gonna leave you alone, and maybe this game is actually just gonna be over in 5 minutes once puck connects.
Well,
It seems like that's a possibility.
It most certainly is. But well, thanks for joining me thus far. And if you want to know where the hell Mike is going, he's going to hitbox.tv/HeflaTV HP1 to cast Denial versus CCK for the Battle of Central Europe, a playoff game for it, best of 3. After that, there's also going to be another best of 3 at, I believe, 19 CET.
Yeah, they're just one after another.
Yeah, one after the other. So it's going to be BBC versus AlbumSheet at 20 CET. Yeah, 20. Makes sense. So that's going to be on D12 as well, if you all betting maniacs want to just bet on that. Also, as we are paused, HeflaTV 2 is going on with Virtus Pro versus Power Rangers for the I-League qualifiers, the final of it. So lots of Dota going on, so you can just take your pick or watch all three of the streams together, who knows. But here we are.
Later, guys.
Later, man. So here I am, solo. Has been quite a while since I've been solo, it feels like. Well, it hasn't been all that long, in all fairness, but you get used to dual casting pretty damn fast. But hopefully this pause will not last for too long, because, well, we can just keep our fingers crossed that it's actually going to be over at some point. But since it's a best of 3, I highly doubt that we're going to make it at 18 CT. So we're going to have to shuffle around like casters and streamers and everything to actually get something working. But Bignum has given the go for us. At least AlbumSheet is ready. Of course, Vega, they were the ones to have the disconnect. So, well, they are ready as well. No one. He's around. We can get this game underway once again. So we'll see if AlbumSheet now with the Aegis feel bold enough. Ogre, like Mike also said beforehand, might not be the best of heroes to carry the Aegis. I mean, I guess it's not the worst. Since you don't have a Soul Ring or Arcane Boots or anything, you might run rather low on mana, so I guess you can get your mana back once you die with the Aegis. Mid lane though, CA will TP out. Nope! The Evil Scepter is there with the 4-step from Afterlife helping out into the Ice Path. He comes, and it's an easy kill. He did try to catch Chomi beforehand, but the assistance was there. Probably, never mind, not a swap even necessary from Vengeful. And with the urn, with the mech just aura being around, Chomi, he's gonna have enough regeneration to get himself back up. Has a haste rune bottle now as well, to make things even harder for Vega now. And without the hook shot, it's just so much harder to actually defend high ground as well. If AlbumSheet even want to pressure that it is. But looks like they are slowly but surely going down the mid lane. They might even have to get a pipe at some point just to make sure that the creep wave doesn't get decimated before it even reaches the high ground. I guess Shakiro might be the best carrier for it now that he has just mech, Yules, and 4-staff anyway. Definitely has plenty of mana to just go around. But they're going bottom lane instead. I guess the tier 3 is the lowest there, 530 HP. So they just wanted to get the tier 3 down. And once the tower is down, it's... I mean, in some ways, it's easier to go for high ground push. In some ways, it's harder. Just because, I mean, you have to go a little bit deeper in to actually apply the liquid fire onto the racks as compared to the tier 3. So you have to endanger yourself a little bit more, but then again the tier 3 won't be attacking you. So you may end up taking less damage, so there are ups and there are downs. But they are gonna keep going. Never mind, they're gonna just TP back. I guess they want to get Stalianer, who is split pushing. He has a PKP now as well. He's been a part of one kill, man. That's something that Slark rarely just sees. And of course, just Dark Pack pounds away. Undershock by himself doesn't have nearly enough to get the kill. Bottom lane though, Yule Scepter, no Ice Path to follow though. Macropyre already used as well. And they're gonna go in with the hookshot. Doesn't catch anybody per se, but they get the Ice Path 1-2 now. If only they had the Macropyre right about here. Of course, there was the Blade Mail as well. Big number now. He's on the run. He has the Aegis, but it's just gonna be an Aegis lost, and he's gonna go down the second time as well. There's no escape when 5 heroes have you surrounded. So AlbumSheet, they are giving away quite a lot with actually not grouping up and TPing back. Just having Slark split push you out. AlbumSheet, they should have been like, yes, Slark is split pushing. Screw that, guys. We are just gonna go high ground ourselves there. We're gonna force the Slark back rather than have him force us back. But, well, they lost 2 heroes. It's 2 supports, so it's not that bad. But losing the Aegis for pretty much nothing is the worst thing about this. But they do have pipe finished now on the Venomancer. So they do have the mech and the pipe, so maybe that's what they were waiting for. I would be surprised if they still don't make a move. Just because Undershock, he's not farming all that great on the Brave King. And Brave King in the late game, as strong as he may be, with just having the lifesteal and everything, the built-in crit. And of course the double life from the Reincarnation. You still might just get kited around. And, well, they do have lots of slows and stuns on their team. Still though, Brave King is just not the most reliable of late game carries. I guess Vega themselves, I mean, Slark is also pretty damn strong, but might be overcome anyway by the heroes of AlbumSheet. We'll see. But they are grouping up now at the bottom lane once again. We'll see if they actually just pull through with the push this time around, or if they're gonna get pushed back by Stalianer again, who is trying to push out top lane. If he does it fast enough, maybe just maybe AlbumSheet are gonna give up on the push, although if they keep on just playing in the rhythm that Vega sets for them, they might find themselves on the just back foot all of a sudden, although so far their 3 cores are farmed, so that's always a positive. Clockwork hasn't found too much, so there's only so much a Clockwork can do in this game. Some nice cogs definitely might disrupt the fight for a little while, but like, as far as Clockwork is not a winning hero. Usually the pipe gets activated, no one, he doesn't get caught, of course, just because nice phase shift into blink. Oh, but the Yule Scepter is there, Ice Path will not follow, especially thanks to this nice, oh god, the hookshot into 1 hero only. They catch one, Earth Splitter will follow Inquisitor, he's gonna be the first to fall. He's still alive for a little while, but Bignam, he's on the run as well, will go down the Dream Coil, keeping him in place. Undershock will lose his life, but it's gonna slow down no one in the Macropyre. The mech comes out though, they are still alive. What a fight to take, Chomi. Gonna go down to Stalianer's PKB. It's a 3-4-0. The Echo Stomp to set it all up onto 3 people. Then the hookshot to follow wasn't the greatest one, only landed onto 1 with the cogs. But it was enough, and now they're gonna lose Undershock twice, and they don't get a single kill. How the hell did they even take that fight? Well, that's extremely surprising to see a fight like that break out. Oh my god. So a 4-4-0, 5k XP swing, about a 4k network swing as well, and Vega, can they capitalize on it? Afterlife is in the mid, and Ice Pack will follow, but Puck is one of the few heroes who can actually escape this. Echo Stomp buying some more time, but the minus armor is there. Urn of Shadows as well, another Yule Scepter, this time by the Puck himself. Gets the blink out, gets rid of the debuffs. Afterlife will try to follow up, Ice Path will be there, can he blink out in time? Dual Breath will catch him, so he's gonna die. But they also got the Vengeful Spirit with the hookshot coming in off the Clockwork. Stalianer still keeps on chasing down the Afterlife Jakiro. Yule Scepter used, but he's gonna get pounced up. Mech doesn't help you enough. Trying to go for the TP out, but it's just too late. So they lose even more heroes. It's a 2-for-1 trade now. Getting a Puck as well as a Vengeful for a... or rather a Jakiro and a Vengeful for a Puck. It is 100% worth it. Undershock does come into the mid lane, but doesn't blink immediately onto RC. Oh my god. I guess if you're Aftershock, maybe you have to kill off the Elder Titan immediately just so you wouldn't have the natural order around. It does just a deceptive amount of work in the fight. And that's going to be a tier 1 going down after the glyph most likely. They took up the weave of Seema the Slayer, getting bonus armor on Stylianer and the Dazzle himself. Tower does not get denied. Was that fight really just the things, or the fight to turn everything around? Stylianer is looking for something, gonna go for Undershock. Oh no, the pounce misses, oh my god. If they had gotten the kill, there would not have been a reincarnation. And looking at the net worth, it is zeroed out now. XP about 6,000-7,000 in the favor of Vega now. They are suddenly looking pretty good. A Yule Scepter on Elder Titan as well, just to get rid of some stuff. Delay out the poison damage of the Venomancer, for example, as well. This was not in the stars. This was not how the game for AlbumSheet should have gone when they destroyed like 5 outer towers in 13.5 minutes or something. I mean, it's not like they are horribly behind now, but the fact that they are behind is somewhat off-putting. Off-putting? I don't know. It's definitely not something that they would have liked to cope with or expected to have to cope with. But now no one, he's just hanging around the bottom lane. Maybe wants to split push. Astral Spirit will come through as well. He can do it from such a long distance. He's in the trees, the safety of it. Big Down Low will come in. Will the smoke break for him? Nope, not gonna go close enough. Smoke will expire anyway. The smoke breaks, they know where Seek is around. And I guess Elder Titan Overstate is welcome. Gonna stand up, Chomi will find him as well. So that's gonna be an Elder Titan now. Did go for the Earth Splitter first. Gonna connect on Undershock. Who with a Blade Mail gladly takes that damage, I guess. But in the meantime, Seema the Slayer, I guess not the best of split pushers as a Dazzle, but doing something anyway. And still, high ground has yet to be broken. If your AlbumSheet 30 minutes in, their power is diminishing and fast. Of course, they still have a lot of sustain with their own pipe and mech. Venomancer with a level 3 Aghanim Scepter and a Poison Nova now. They have a lot of outgoing damage as well if they can get the Poison Nova onto enough heroes. Maybe Blink should be the next item for the Venomancer just to do that. But even CA has an Ogre Club, can go for a BKB, can go for an Aghanim Scepter on the Clockwork soon enough. Whichever he wants really. As Puck hasn't gotten any items after the Blink, as was the Yule Scepter, so that's not the greatest. I mean, all in all, the farm on AlbumSheet's 3 heroes is still better, although their supports are struggling more than that of the Vegas. Now also a Maelstrom picked up on Undershock can just speed up the farming process. A few lightning procs for the extra damage output as well, of course. But man, this... if they planned it to go like this, then they were just... Their strategy failed in that case. But AlbumSheet now, after the last fail of like 4 for 0, looks like they are a little bit reluctant to actually go for another push. Maybe they're waiting for the next Roshan to happen. Try to grab another Aegis this time around, give it to a hero that actually might just do something with it. It's sad to say, but that's exactly what happened. Ogre Magi just lost the Aegis. And 32 minutes in, he's still only level 9. And that is a huge downside. If you just look at the levels, at least Elder Titan is level 11 and doesn't really need more just because you have your maxed out natural order. So that's going to be fine for you. Slark level 18 as well. But Ogre, the more points you get into multicast, the stronger you get. He still so far only has 1. Bloodlust isn't maxed out. Can't help out Brave King all that much. And BKB in the meantime has been finished on CA's Clockwork. They do ping out something this ward. Rocket Flare is flying into Roche Pit. Roshan's still not up. But looks like they are just hanging about. Astral Spirit will scout out Chomi as well. Neither side really wants to make too aggressive of a movement. Maybe once Seema the Slayer finishes up a pipe for the team, that might be the word go. And with the pipe, mech, and just constant shadow waves every 6 seconds from Dazzle, shallow graves if need be, they actually might be able to just survive the Poison Nova. And after the Poison Nova, they don't have the craziest amount of damage unless they have some form of lockdown to actually keep people in the Macropyre, for example. So at least Pignum getting closer to his Aghanim Scepter as well. And at level 11, so once he gets the Aghanim Scepter and the level 11, definitely a huge just boost in power for the Ogre Magi, spikes up quite heavily so. But melee, no one blinks in, harasses Pignum a little bit. There is no follow up, so no point to even pop a Dream Coil. Maybe CA could have gone in with the hookshot, but they're not gonna attempt something that crazy. Whereas Stallianer has the Eye of Skadi finished, has the Blade of Alacrity, 2.2k after that. Can finish up a Yasha if he wants to. Is there a chance for this to be a Diffusal Blade just to purge off some stuff from yourself? I would still think just Manta style probably would. Oh, Earth Splitter comes out, the pounce will fall onto Chomi. Does get the distance from the Earth Splitter though, so will not get pulled back. Echo Stomp does cancel the TP, but he's gonna get used up himself into the Ice Path if he comes. That's gonna be the death of the Elder Titan. So Vega, they tried to go for something, lost their lives. And is this the opening for Roshan now? It most likely is. They really need the Astral Spirit for scouting, as well as the Natural Order. So Album Sheets, they might get themselves an Aegis. They have the level 3 Reincarnation. Definitely a great thing to have Stallianer trying to split push in the meantime. Apply the pressure, make Album Sheet back off from Roshan. I doubt it's gonna happen though. Although, well, they get the stuns onto no one. If you can get killed on the puck, Ice Path will not follow in time. You got the blink out, but the swap back. You sceptered up as well. He cannot chaunt away. He uses another phase shift, but yeah, he's gonna go down. The silence didn't land on Inquisitor, so Magic Missile secure the kill. Plus Ice Path to follow onto Roshan as well. So that's gonna be Roshan down. Not the fastest one, but Aegis this time onto Undershock. Triple lives for him. As Stallianer will clean up the tier 2, up to 3.4k gold now as well. Got the last hit. Pipe finished on the Dazzle. Diffusal Blade is there on the Slark now. So maybe it's just to get rid of a Ghost Scepter, for example. I mean, I guess there are a lot of damage over time spells you could potentially try to purge. Although I think Venomancer spells cannot be purged that way. So maybe it is just pure to counter the Ghost Scepter, or I don't know, maybe they're expecting a Hex, or maybe somebody gets multicasted, like quad multicast, you're gonna diffuse that off, I'm not too sure. But he's gonna go for the jump. Inquisitor, he's gonna get jumped. No Diffusal Blade needed for this. Or is there? Shadow Dance does come out now, but the mech is there. Inquisitor still alive. The swap back as well. They're buying the time necessary, but Stallianer gets the kill. Will get the bounce out as well, but the Uceptor is there. Ice Path will be waiting for him. Will they pop the Poison Nova for it? No, they won't. Venom Scale won't do too much with the BKB activated on the Slark. Another pounce. Gonna get the blink out now as well. Never mind. He gets it, but there's the hookshot into the creeps. Does miss the Chikiro. Might still get the Power Cogs. Echo Stomp doesn't connect on anybody, but there's the Power Cogs. Blade Mail activated, Earth Splitter to follow. There is no escape for Afterlife. That's 2 heroes down, show me. He's gonna be a third one, maybe pounce forward or blink forward from Stallianer. Gets the Diffusal Blade, gets rid of the Ghost Scepter, show me. He's gonna go down. Now Undershock, gonna get stomped up. Can they get the Aegis? Maybe. Has the Mjolnir on him, so it's a little bit damaging to actually go for him. Just look at the lightning procs, but it's not gonna be enough. That's his reincarnation. They need to get rid of the Aegis as well. Can they though? The slow is enough, no Power Cogs. Uceptor after Power Cogs, 2-second cooldown. Blade Maze activate the Galore for both. Inquisitor trying to for the defensive swap. Another Yule Scepter though. Another Power Cogs. Undershock, he's gonna lose his Aegis. Now picking up, he comes in as well. Gets the multicast onto Stallianer, the second one as well. But it's just not enough at this point. Undershock not gonna get slowed down, but the pounce is there. Another Shadow Dance from Stallianer. It's gonna be enough. The Mjolnir. Is it gonna be enough to get Seema at least? No, it's not. Shallow Grave comes out just in the nick of time. Venom Scale lands on 2. Ice Path to follow as well. Clockwork probably will die in the end of this. But they got so much. They got the tier 2 down. Poison Nova only catching the one hero that died. Stallianer wants to come in from the sideline. Stark Pack is there. Big Num will go down to the pounce. A few right clicks. BKB from Stallianer as well. They're gonna go for Chomi next. Album Sheet, they are just bleeding heroes. They're losing one after the other. Another Diffusal Blade gets rid of the Venomancer. And that is GG called. Vega Squadron, they actually win this game. Despite the great start that Album Sheet had. My god. They just overpowered Album Sheet. Of course, they were trying to split push and just forcing Album Sheet back so often as well. But guys, this is a best of 3 series. So this is not over, not by a long shot. We are heading into game number 2 though. So if you guys enjoyed the game, be sure to stay tuned. I don't think it's going to take more than a couple of minutes to start game number 2. And well, with that, I hope you enjoyed the game as well as the cast. If you did, you can always follow HeflaTV for more content. We are at the moment live on 3 channels as well. On this one, on HeflaTV 2, with Power Rangers vs Virtus Pro. And on HeflaTV HP1 on Hitbox, with Denial vs CCK starting. But enough of that. I'm heading into game number 2, guys, and see you there.